Joe, what's going on, man?
Yes, I
You're
am back, baby.
yeah. The audience doesn't have to suffer through me just ranting alone for an hour.
It was
Do
not
you know how hard
suffering.
it is
Listen to it.
to sit here at 6:30 by yourself and carry the load
Oh, don't
solo?
make me feel bad there. Jesus.
Welcome back, man.
Thanks. It's good to see you. It's funny when you do something like this for 2 years and you talk to somebody for an hour, and it's more than an hour. We get on a little bit beforehand, a little bit after. I mean, I think I talked to you more than I talked to really anybody for extended periods of time. So when
That's true.
I don't do it. It's weird. It's funny. So it's good to be back. It's good to be hanging with you. And I'm on the right side today.
Hang on, let's get. I'd forgotten how things went. It had been so long.
This doesn't feel right. Yes, here we go.
Well,
That feels better.
it's. Oh, did it move?
It did move. I'm on the left now.
I'm
Wait,
having.
am I usually on the left? I think I'm on the left, right? No,
I
can't
know.
remember.
I think it's usually here. This is how
I
it
don't
is.
know. It's been so long.
I know. It's been so long. So for those of y'all that just joining, it's a show where I own reptiles and I'm a professional reptile breeder. Joe is not, and he has a lot of questions. And
I have a lot of questions, and I like to talk about them.
Every week, we dive into a little bit of reptile business, a little bit of life, and just hang out with old friends. So Proper Cup of Joe is brought to you by Palm Street. And Joe, get this. I had an epiphany this week. And
okay.
This is not the one thing, just a big announcement, my friend.
Epiphanies are good. I love epiphanies.
Not one, but two people told me that because of the YouTube placed ads, the monetized ads,
okay,
that the replays had become like unwatchable. Like there was like these ridiculous amount of commercial breaks. You get annoyed by all the commercials and people turn away.
Really?
Yeah. And I said, you know what? We got all these great people that look out for us, like Husbandry Pro, like Cold Blooded Cafe, like Sundog, like Palm Street. Ad free, baby. All of the Proper Cup of Joe is now brought to you ad free on the replays live. The only people it's brought to you by are people that support our industry and our community. That's it. Across all Proper Royals live media. The lives of Proper Royals are now completely ad-free. No more of it.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. That's the way you do it. That's the work. That's putting in the work. That's good.
You listen to the customer and you go, that.
I mean, give them what they want.
You give them what they want.
Just hours straight of us doing whatever we do.
Yeah. And I think like just to be really transparent, I think on a really good episode with really high engagement, which is hard to get if there's ads, I think we make around $2.20. So I said, you know what?
Forego the $2.
Yeah. Take your $2, YouTube. Don't need it.
Very nice. This is great. This is what you do, though, Adam. Isn't it what you do? You listen, you learn, and you adjust to what people want. As a business owner, that's what you do, right?
Yeah, I try to, and that's how you take your best at it. But I also had no idea. That's where like I crave the feedback because we all live in our own little boxes, and we got no idea that of the experience. And contrary to popular belief, I don't replay. I don't like sit around listening to myself.
Are you sure?
Yeah, well, not any more than I have to. So, I mean, I commit a fair amount of time to doing that once every week. I don't do it twice. So, every now and again, I'll go back and listen.
That's the way to do it. And you had people just randomly tell you that, or did you ask for the feedback?
No, two separate people told me in passing
about this show. About this show or your other show?
Both, I think. They actually, I think it must have been this. It was this because their exact words were, it took me about an hour and a half to get through your morning show. And I was like, it's an hour. And they're like, yeah, well, not with the ads. And I was like, oh my God. And like, there's a friend that's they're going to listen because they're friends. But like, we got a, look, Joe, we got a hard enough pitch to begin with for people to understand what the hell's going on. We don't need we can shoot ourselves in the foot just fine, by the way. Like, I don't need help doing that.
Nobody has an hour and a half to waste on us boneheads. I mean, come on. An hour tops.
An hour is it. If that.
I'm not a great salesman.
But then there was, I never think of the different ways that people, oh my goodness. See, now look at this. There's 10 episodes from Elias we don't have to worry about. That's it. Elias, thank you. That is excellent. Nice. That's excellent. Thank you so much.
Nobody has to do that. It was super nice.
That is cool.
Nice. Thanks, man.
That'll go in Joe's the Joe and Chelsea Travel Fund Proper Royals summer conference of board members in Minneapolis this summer.
It's the meeting of the minds. I can't wait for that. That'll be really fun. I keep thinking about it, and I keep thinking about different ways to make it better and better.
And we will treat ourselves. Thank you, guys. Go follow Creative Reptiles. That is Elias, and also proud representative of the Whiskey Bomb Network. And if you don't know, well, you should go find out. Joe, what's your one thing? You've been out. It's been 2 weeks since we've hung out. What have you been doing, man? What's your one thing?
Well, I've been doing some good stuff and stuff that I like to do. I've been decluttering, which is very good. I like that a lot.
Cathartic, right? Did you go to the dump?
Yes, I went to the dump. It was beautiful. Nice. It was wonderful. It was a beautiful day at the dump, just throwing stuff over a ledge. And it's funny. You go to this particular dump. I don't know how other dumps are. I've been to other dumps, and they're more like, they're not like this. There's a thing that you back the truck or the car up to, and you throw it over the side into a trailer, you know?
Right.
So, and there's even a symbolic gesture. I kind of over exaggerated.
Yeah. Do you like pretend that you're like, you're going Hogan versus Andre at WrestleMania 3 in the Silver Dome? Yeah.
I have a cardboard box.
Yeah. Couple suplexes backwards. Yeah.
Right. And it feels really good, but not just decluttering, decluttering my space. It's a decluttering of the mind as well.
That's true. Hard work does that.
Making sure that I am cutting out certain things that I think about in my brain so that I can focus on the things that I like to do, And the thing that I have really been preoccupied with for a lot of my years is what my livelihood is, you know, how I do what I do and what I'm going to do in the future, and how is that going to be fulfilling to me and make me happy. So that is always on my mind. So it's a bit of a struggle because I just want to be content, but I'm never content, right? But the reason I missed last week was that I started back in the classroom for 6 weeks, teaching some courses, and I love it. We've now had 2 days where I'm teaching people who don't really, I'm so excited about it, and they're just like, this is a required class, and I'm here in the summer.
They're like, just get me through it. Yeah.
But even that's like a challenge. Like I want to like draw them in, and like I really I think now here's what I've been thinking about though, and I wanted to pose it to you. Sometimes when you do the things that you just really, really love, it's more difficult to get back into the things that you don't really love.
Right.
Like sometimes at the end of a vacation, it's harder. You're not I usually don't feel recharged.
No, I'm exhausted when I get back. Yeah.
Yes. I feel as though I I don't want to go back to the thing that I don't want to go back to normal life, basically.
Right.
And that's what these mornings are like. I appreciate my job. I love my job. It's at the accounting firm, and there are certain things that I really like about it. There are things that I go, this does not feed my soul here. And so on Tuesdays now, no, so last week I had to start on Thursday, but on Tuesdays I do these classes, and it really just feeds me. I'm just like so excited and everything. And I wonder though, is that helpful to me, or does it hurt me in a certain way? Does it make me now? If there's a possibility that I jump to that, and that's what I do, and I love that, and I do that all the time, then that's fine. I don't know if there's a possibility of me doing that to maintain the kind of livelihood that I like, but I like it and it feeds me, but it makes it more difficult on Wednesday to go back to the things that, kind of seem mundane and normal, and will the things that feed me, will that eventually, if I ever jump to that, get to be mundane and I won't like it? So I have this question. What do you think of that? Like, how do you feel about that? Is it better to just try to be like even keeled and just kind of go, all right, maybe not have these great highs of things that you do, be even, so that if you were to have these great highs, it's less difficult to get back into? That seems so crazy. The obvious answer to me is no. You got to go and you got to experience every possible high that you can.
That's exactly right. Don't screw around with one. Like, what are you talking about? That's like the person that's like, I'm not going to date because they're just going to break up with me. Like you can't, you can't do that. Like, yeah, you got to go experience it. And I think the bigger challenge is then figuring out how you do live with that in your life, rather than worrying about what the highs and the lows are. And
yeah.
Plus, I think you can think about what you're saying. So even if it makes it a drag to go to the other thing, I think if you ask yourself, well, would I give up the really great thing just so that this seems better? Like, maybe
this is the different way to pose it. I'm spending time on something that is that I really love, right? But if I spent time trying to love the thing that I do more, is that a better way of approaching?
Maybe, and that's a process. You can't just flip a switch, because you said something in there.
I love this. Yeah.
You said something in there where you said, I like to live a certain way, and I don't know that I could fund living this way with doing only the thing I love.
Right.
Well, so, okay. So you love living that way. There is a thing that you love about it. It gets you the happiness. It's not like, it's not like you're slogging away at something you don't like just to meet your basic needs, to where you're renting a room in a hostel just one step away from homelessness. No, you're living a good life. You're going to fly to Minneapolis this summer. We're going to hang out and all of that kind of stuff. So, and
yeah, like if I did this, if I went to this other thing, I don't know, if paying all the bills that I have, I don't know if I'd be able to do those types of things.
Right. So
even go to Minneapolis.
Exactly. I get it, man. So, but to really simplify it back down and make it probably a little more engaging to the audience, you wouldn't not take a vacation just because you didn't want the headache of going back to work. You wouldn't be like, oh, screw that, I'm just going to stay and work. No, you're going to go to Hawaii. Yeah, right. You're going to take your vacation. So it's a privilege to have to figure that out, Joe. Enjoy it.
It is a privilege. Yeah. I don't want to come off as whining.
I'm
not.
Something
that preoccupies my mind. Yes. But also, when you do something that you love, it does clear things up. I think that's my point. I think
cool.
I think you get into a mode where you go, this is what I do. This is what I do every day. I'm going to work on this. And then you step out and you go, on Tuesdays, you go to your company and you go, on Tuesdays, I'm stepping out for a little bit. And they go, okay, that's a great thing about my job, is that they value me enough to go, okay, yes, go on Tuesdays and do what you love. That's fantastic. That's awesome. And then you go and you do that, and it kind of clarifies some things about who you are, what you want, what you love, and so it kind of declutters a few things. It clears a pathway to a better vision. I don't look forward to my 9 to 5. Yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But it could be also like I say, it doesn't have to be a switch. So maybe like right now, if I'm guessing, it's 90% day job and 10% of this thing that really gets you going in life. And maybe next year it's 80-20, and the year after it's 70-30. And you figure out those questions of, how do I maintain my lifestyle, and how do I raise this real, happiness meter and fulfillment meter.
I wonder, like, is this? I think about this stuff all the time. I think about it all the time, and I wonder if sometimes I think about it so much, if it's some kind of problem that I have, or if this is something that everyone thinks about all the time the way that I do. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, let me tell you, we're all insane in our own ways. I've learned that everybody's got something, but like, that's also almost like the happiness, like we talk about like enjoying the anticipation so much. Like that's another version of enjoying the anticipation. Like me, like I think about like pairings all the time, or how I'm going to increase efficiency at my new facility, or like looking forward to our summer thing, or like figuring out these hurdles. I don't know. I think about it all the time, but I also find it, again, that's with me saying I have some basic needs met. I'm going to have my home. I'm going to have the electricity. I'm going to be able to feed my family. So once you reach that point, then it's like, I have to find it, and the numbers will have to be updated. The economics of the past 7 years are just crazy. But there was something that basically said, however they measure happiness, and like I say, this is going back 8-10 years, however they measure happiness at the time, it basically said once somebody makes, 70 to 80,000, which is a lot of money, but once you make that amount, the amount your happiness increases above that is actually very, very minimal, very minuscule. Like almost like your headaches become more outweighing of the joys that you find. Now, don't get me wrong. Sign me up for double that. Give me the double, the triple it. I'll figure out the headaches of it. But it did say, the theory of that. So anyway, what I'm saying is, Joe, enjoy the whole process is what I'm saying.
So here's the other thing that makes these classes even better. And I want to ask you about this as well. So it's a 6-week course. So it's going to be done in 6 weeks.
Blink of an eye.
I'm cramming, 12 to 14 weeks into this 6-week course, right? So they do a lot of stuff at home. We do, and what I'm doing is just the hits in the classroom. Like I know the lessons that are bangers, So I'm going in and I'm just doing that, and the class periods are just like packed with great, good stuff. Yeah. Now let me ask you this, because I do think that this kind of thing is in terms of your playing music. Are there songs that are like, you just know you'd love to play, that it's going to get a good reaction, it's going to be there, and then you play some songs that are like, I don't know, this is okay, I'm not really too sure. I mean, you play covers all the time. Yeah. So, but are there ones that you're just like, yes, this is awesome? And if you could cull away the other ones and just play the bangers, like that's what's making this class so fun. And do you, is there something that you recognize in your own, either playing music or going to shows, snake shows or anything like that, where you're just like, that relates to that somehow?
So with music, I'm fortunate enough that I have a big enough catalog of things that I play. If I'm not enjoying the song, I don't play it, man. Like
Yeah, right,
I'm
right.
like, I'm not
Yeah.
playing that one. And sometimes, depending on the audience, the set list that I write up for myself goes right out the window. Like,
Yeah.
if you know, if a real extreme thing, if a bachelorette party high on tequila strolls in, I'm gonna have to change up the set list. Like we gotta feed off of this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
likewise, if people are having a nice evening dinner of conversation, well, okay, I guess I got to change that up a little bit. So
yeah.
there's that part of it, but I really do. On stage is a really selfish thing. Like you get to do what you want to do. You have the amplified voice to where other people really can't interrupt you. And if they try, I just turn it up. Like I'm going to win.
Yeah.
I have the microphone. So I get to do kind of what I want in that way.
Yeah.
Now, when you say bangers, there's like hits that everybody knows, but then there's also songs that I know I'm going to crush that they might have never heard before, where they're like, what the hell was that? So
Yeah, yeah.
I like mixing those in.
Yeah.
And then there are a few, the only thing that I wouldn't say I wrestle with, but I think about a whole lot. I heard a great quote one time from a musician, and the musician said that the stage and the performance is not where you figure things out. That's not fair to the audience. If you're on stage, you better have your stuff together and you better have the respect for the audience to be on that stage. So I like learning new songs. I like challenging myself. And that's how I keep music exciting. I don't want to play the same 30 songs over and over for years on end. That drives me nuts.
Yeah.
But I got to balance it with, especially playing solo acoustic, that's not the place to figure things out or to explore. Or you can't jam by yourself. That's not going to work. So I am cognizant of that when I'm playing. I'm like, all right, if this is a new song, is it ready to go yet? Or do I bag it till the next show till I have it down?
Yeah, gotcha. And even that, like, there's like an excitement to unveiling songs for the first time.
Yeah, and honestly, I rarely share that with the audience. I just like I don't like people that talk between every song. You don't need to know the first time that I heard, whatever it is I'm gonna play, and now one time this and that. No, just shut up. Just play. Just it's not that important. Just get going. So
how about with snakes? Do you ever have like a snake that's like ready to you unveil, and it's like, oh, this is the banger?
Oh, there are days. Yeah, there's days where I'm like, nobody knows it. They don't know.
Yeah.
But this snake is going to sell today because I know it's exactly what either a group of people need or what people have commented that they're looking forward to seeing the clutch cutting. Yeah, there's days where I'm just like, today,
And are you usually right? Are you usually right?
Yeah. When it's one of those, it's gone, man. I used to do that in restaurants too. I'd be like, and this is really sounds bad where like you're profiling, but like you got to make your money in the restaurants. And the fact is, the more you sell, the more money you're going to make. And I remember being like, man, these people don't even know it. They're about to drink some Cabernet. They're going to have the high end steak. We're about to put it on these people. And it's a good experience for him, and I was going to make some money, and like that, that would get me excited because that was my livelihood at that time. Like if you think about, it's such a house of cards. If you think about like, well, I don't really make any money for showing up for work, so let me go grovel and dance in front of these people and hope they tip me in this weird social contract that we have. But anyway, I was good. I was good at it. I did it well, and I did it for a long time. And I used to get excited about it. I'd be like, oh yeah, this, I would tell the people, I'm like, those are my people right there. This is, watch this.
You would tell the people, you go.
No. I would tell the other servers. I'd be like, watch this. Yeah, I'll be back with 4 orders of ribeyes and we're going to sell a bottle of wine right here. And even as like the food and beverage director, I would do it. Like I would sell wine for the servers and be like, because if you could have your director selling a $150 bottle of wine and you get the tip, you love that guy.
Yeah.
And I would love that. And like, there's always people like competition and talking smack, and they'll be like, you can't do it. I'm like, oh, watch me, pal. You think I'm the old man that never did what you're doing? I'm about to show you how it's done, man. I go sell the one. Now you go clean up. Here, I made you some money. Get out of here.
Right. And you're also teaching them how to do it too. So,
exactly. And that's the thing. We're working together. It's collaborative. It's a shared vision and a shared need, blah, 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 all the good stuff.
Blah, blah, blah. All that stuff. So how about you? What's your one? Oh my gosh. I really rambled, didn't I?
Look, you're excited. You're passionate about it. It's good. Let me sneak this in here. Proper Cup of Joe is brought to you by Palm Street. It's the #1 live selling app for buyers and sellers. You should check it out. If you want to apply to sell on Palm Street, there's a link down in the description. You could go right there. You get like the Proper Royals Hall Pass. Just right in. Go apply. Joe, this week, you're not going to believe it. The audience isn't going to believe it. And I hate when people are like, do you know what I did? And they're like, of course I don't know what I did. So I'm just going to tell you what I did. Tuesday night, we waited, talk about anticipation, for Charlie's Christmas present, my son Charlie's Christmas present.
Oh,
we got him tickets to see, I can't believe I'm saying it out loud. And this is a grown man that I have to refer to this way. We went to see a performer named Jelly Roll and Post Malone on Tuesday night, man. Quite a production, let me tell you. So
really?
Tuesday, yeah, US Bank Stadium, big stadium show. He'd never been in like a football stadium before, much less, indoor pyrotechnics and all the antics and the sheer volume and all of that of the show. So that was Tuesday night. That's what I went and did. Yeah, man.
That's really cool. Was it a good show?
Yeah, I don't know. I have to be honest. I don't know I didn't know any of their stuff. So what I will say, a real aha thing, and I don't know if you guys know, I'm not a real country music aficionado. There's a woman named Sierra Farrell who opened the whole show. Can you imagine being responsible to open for this, these Grammy winners? Man, she's straight out of West Virginia, second coming of Dolly Parton, man, just dressed to the nines, looking like a country Lady Gaga and pulling it off. And she was fantastic. Sierra Farrell is the name. Great band. Farrell. Yeah. Sierra Farrell. She was really good. This again, I still can't keep a straight face calling somebody Jelly Roll, but anyway, Jelly Roll, really good show. A bit of a cacophony. There's like 15 people on stage. There's some dude ripping a solo. The bass player is doing backflips. He's got a DJ, and yeah, he's going nuts. But then they kind of brought it together, and then it was and the sound was a little off to start because of that. I think they came out a little hopped up on energy, like in a cool way. Yeah. And then everybody gets their place. Really, really good. I could see why. I could see the infectious charisma and why people love him.
Yeah,
really good live show. I would recommend the live show to anybody. I don't know if I'll pop on his music and hum the tunes or whatever, but really good live show. And then I have to admit, I guess I'm the old guy in the room. I really didn't understand Post Malone, what was going on, and then. I personally, this is just me, probably the old man on my soapbox. He was very inebriated, like from the start. And I mean, these are expensive tickets. You're literally in front of 67,000 people in a football stadium. Cause like there's on-field seating and the seating in the stands. Like there's a ton of people there. I get it. Have a good time, all that stuff. But like his, he did a couple songs and then he greeted the audience. It was gracious. It was nice. Like a 2-minute, like canned, happy to be here. We're going to do this and that tonight. He did another song and then he did the greeting again. And then he was like, oh, I might have already said that. I'm like, oh God, come on, dude. Like,
it's what you were saying. It's what you were saying in the earlier conversation. You got to respect the audience.
Yeah, or the customers, and don't take advantage of people's
Yes.
hard-earned money, you know? Like, at the end of the
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
that is a lot of money for a lot of people, and I'm not oblivious enough to, it doesn't escape me that I probably do a little bit better than some other people might. And so that amount of money was different for me than it might have been for other people. And what I'm saying is you can't disrespect how hard people work for their livelihoods and all of that. So I was frustrated by that. And the other thing, it was like 5.5 hours long of a concert. I don't need a 5.5 hour concert. None of us, we left early from
Yeah.
Post Malone. It wasn't, I don't think my son knew his music that much or wasn't into it as much. And like I say, it was pretty clear we weren't getting 100% from him that night, kind of thing. And it was much less engaging, where the Jelly Roll show was incredibly engaging and really, really well done. So
That's great. That's great.
there you go.
Now here's something. So Aiden, my stepson, had tickets to see Morgan Wallen.
Oh yeah.
Uh, and it was I don't know, it was maybe last year or something. And he was doing a few shows in Tampa, and Jelly Roll was the opener or the act, the middle
Oh
or whatever.
yeah. I wouldn't want to go on
So
after that guy. I'll tell you that.
So he did a show. Morgan Wallen did a show, and then the next show was canceled. So Aiden's show was canceled, actually.
Oh,
So, or wait, or I don't know. Maybe Aiden went to it, and then the next show was canceled. Jelly Roll goes, okay, this show was canceled because Morgan Wallen had lost his voice or something like that was the line that was put out.
yeah.
And so there's like a bar. Like a big country western bar in Tampa. It's like the only one.
Right.
And Jelly Roll, since it was canceled, he put out on social media, "I'm going to go play at this big country western bar
Oh, geez, the place had to
that
have been
night."
like burned down.
So,
Like, my goodness, yeah.
so I mean, it was very kind of maybe he didn't put out on social media, maybe he just kind of leaked it or whatever, and
Right,
then
strategically,
he
yeah.
had this big. I mean, that is like, and then he came back and played the show. It was rescheduled. That show was rescheduled, but I really appreciated that. I don't know him. I don't
Yeah,
know Jelly Roll that well either, but I really appreciated that. Everybody gets excited that they're going to go to the show and then it's canceled. And then he's like, wait a minute. If Morgan Wallen can't do it, I'm going to set up someplace else and we're going to go play this
yeah,
show.
we'll
And
have
you
a
can
party.
come and it's going to be, I think it was like a nominal fee. It was like $10 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool. So I've always liked him since then, but not liked him enough to actually listen to his music.
He came across authentic and
Yeah.
sort of the theme today. He came across authentic, appreciative of the audience, grateful for the opportunity. You can tell the dude is living in the moment, thankful for, like, he seemed to have an awareness that, like, hey, playing in front of 70,000 people can disappear tomorrow. Why don't I enjoy right here, right now? And that really came through. And it was a nice, it was a good show.
He might have a problem with picking partners that he goes on tour with, because what came out afterwards was that Morgan Wallen had spent the night before in Tampa kind of whooping it up, and that's the reason why the show was canceled the next night. So
that comes down to it. That's being a pro, though. You want to be a rock star, you better be able to handle it. And I used to tell people that in the restaurants, like, I can't tell you what you can and can't do. I could tell you should be able to handle what you do, because you got to come here the next day. You want to live the restaurant lifestyle? That's up to you. You do what you want to do, but you better be able to handle what you do to yourself. And yeah.
So, and that that's what you're saying. The theme of today is kind of like, all right, yeah. So people are coming out to patronize you, to give their money and their time to something, whether it's snakes, whether it's food, whether it's accounting and classes, or whether it's music. And there has to be a certain amount of respect for that. It's a complete turnoff to me to like, I like Post Malone. I like his music actually, but that would be a total turnoff to me if he wasn't ready and prepared and really appreciating that, you know, people are taking their well-earned money and their time and their energy, and they're taking their family to these things, and they're taking, or their spouse or whatever. This is a night out, and that just bothers me so much for somebody to just go, it's just another night, you know?
Yeah. And I get part of the shtick. I've definitely been on stage, you know, playing in essentially an Irish drinking band in a pub. I get it.
Yeah.
There's a character that you can play, and there's a time and a place for everything. If you can't remember that 6 minutes ago you gave the same 2-minute monologue, it's not a good look, you know?
Yeah, right.
So we talked about, like I say, sort of the theme of just like doing what's right for the customer. I know it's so basic, and people are like, ooh, great insight from Adam and his business world this week. But it seems like the theme that I've been running into lately of, it was a real aha moment to get rid of the ads. Those of y'all just joining, All Proper Royals live content is ad free now if you watch on the replay. And that came from somebody saying, I can't stand to get, it's a pain to get through the whole content. Like, if I believe in the content, which I do, we work at this very hard. We get up, we're dedicated. And there's like a flow to the show. I don't want that flow interrupted. It's hard enough to get to the flow. I don't need to fight uphill against ads and stuff. And it was so funny because the simplest answer was, we'll just get rid of them. And then that was like the biggest aha of like, this is going to be great. I can't wait to tell like the whole world that this is what we're going to do from now on. And it's been really well received. And Elias hooked it up for us a little bit earlier. Don't have to worry about the ads when you got a little funding coming in. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but I had the opposite example. I went to one of these like fast oil change things this week, you know, and I like to go to the Toyota dealership, but it's up in town and blah, blah, blah. We're all busy. So anyway, it's Valvoline. I'm going to call it out. So I go to the Valvoline place, and I hate bad logistics too. They have 2 car bays, but only one like driveway. So it's like this reverse funnel. Like you drive into it and then you have to go left or right. Well, if there's 2 cars in there and you're the first to pull up, you don't know which one is going to be done first. You don't want to get in the wrong lane, right? Yeah. So I parked back a little bit so that, and nobody was behind me. It's not like I'm wasting anybody's time, so that I could go left or right, depending on who finishes first, and I would be first in line, and that's where I'm at, blah, blah, blah. And the guy doesn't tell, he could have just popped out and been like, right over there. I've been like, okay. Meanwhile, this is also a story about entitled people that I don't like. This lady, Toyota 4Runner, pulls up on the curb outside of the funnel to pull in front of me to go in the right lane. I'm like, you know that meme of
here, yeah,
you know that meme of like John Travolta from Pulp Fiction when speaking of out of his head a little bit, he's just like looking around. That's how I felt. Yeah. It's okay, you know, I don't know what's going on. She parks her car, gets out, shuts her door, walks into the building, walks back out, gets in her car. This part got interesting. Sure enough, the right side, it's clear that they're done with the oil change. Now this woman is pulled in front of me there. The thing starts coming up. She takes out her camera and starts filming me, like knowing there's going to be an issue from what she's caused. So she's caused a problem, and now she's filming me with her cell phone. So,
had you done anything at this point?
No, I've not interacted with her, done nothing. It's not like I don't have bumper stickers of any particular political persuasion or anything. I'm just hanging out in line trying to get my oil changed. So the door opens. She begins pulling forward while filming me. This is me holding a cell phone off screen, so I'll hold it here. She's filming me as she's driving forward. So I oblige her. I lay on the horn, and I'm like, what's going on? And here's the point of the story. The guy comes out, and it says manager on his thing. He says, hey, first off, this other lane is about to be done. Okay. He says, she's just getting her some fluids topped off. It's a free amenity we provide after your oil change. She'll be in and out real quick. Don't worry about it. I said, because the left lane was opening up, I said, you know what? It's not worth the headache. Don't worry about it. I pull in and he comes back. He's like, thanks for being patient and all that. I said, let me ask you something. How much is she paying you today? He goes, nothing. So how much are you going to charge me today? He goes, it's probably around $60. So why would you roll out the carpet to her when she's pulling around, disrupting your service, pissing off your other customers, and
Right.
I'm the guy going to give you money?
Yeah.
And of course, there was a rhetorical question. And basically his answer was, I just need to get her in and out of here. And I get it. I've been the manager dealing with entitled jerks. She's filming me. Like, I was like, okay. But so it played into my mindset of, you know, all that he had to do was put the customer first and stand up to the lady and say, you know what? These are going to finish soon. You need to get in line the way that you should do it, and we'll take care of you. There's a paying customer in front of you.
Right. Yeah.
But something I see in our industry with reptiles is that we get like, we love, man, and this isn't unique to just reptiles. We love policies. Oh, says right here, can't do it. No policy is perfect, and we all should be empowered to make good decisions. Just like that manager should have been empowered to just make a good decision or whatever it is. And maybe it was a good decision he made. I don't think so, because I'm complaining about them publicly now, but maybe that's his prerogative. But I heard an example this week. Somebody bought a snake from somebody. Their store policy is no refunds, no returns. I get it. There's a cost, there's an opportunity cost to holding an animal, taking it off sale. You miss out in the competitive, fast-paced world of Morph Market or wherever you're selling. Then if you ship an animal or somebody takes an animal home, you don't know what they've done to it. You're darn sure not going to take it back. You know, you got biosecurity concerns, all of that. That's not to say I won't help the people and I won't consider each circumstance. But I heard somebody this week, they hadn't even shipped an animal. The buyer said, hey, turns out in my lease, I can't have this. I can't take the animal. They go, store policy, no returns. They ship the animal, probably send the poor thing off to its death, which is horrible.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, make a good decision. I get it. If you tell the people you can't get your money back, that's between you and the people. And there's some gray areas there. Is it $200 and I put a lot of effort into making that sale and I missed out on other sales? I'm probably going to keep most of that. Is it $2,000 and it's a great animal? Hey, look, I got a little bit of a fee. It cost me a little bit of money, basically a restock fee. Here's your cash, go on. This person sends the animal and keeps the money and stands on, well, it's the store policy. That's not putting the customer first. And now, thankfully, I don't know the name of the person, so I'm not going to say who it is because I don't know who it is. But other people are talking about them. Like, that ruins your reputation. Why would you do that?
Right.
You know what I mean?
And
Just
you wouldn't. And I mean, if I was that person, I would never go back to that place again, even if they had something that I wanted, and I would never go back to that place. Because they didn't take care of me. They didn't treat me as a human being. They treated me like a number, you know.
That's it. Yeah, it's a policy. It's a budget line. It's a number. And then could you imagine being the person that receives the snake who told the person I can't get it, and then they post that story? Like, you're going to get advertising for. You're going to be made famous for all the wrong reasons. You get famous fast for the wrong reasons. You get famous slowly for the right reasons. You got to work at it, you know. So anyway, it had been a week of like, how do I just put the customer first, just be appreciative of people's money and time and effort and doing the right thing. You ever, do you ever feel like you're just getting like like, I hate feeling like my time and my hard work is taken for granted. You know, that drives me the most nuts, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think I feel that all the time. I think I also, so two things. One is I do feel that way. I do feel as though, and it has to do more with dealing with larger companies. I think that's just what it becomes. I think as companies grow and then they become conglomerates and they can
That's
become
the big
huge
complaint, right?
corporations. And it's just like, oh, I'm just
We
I'm
use
never going to be able to convince somebody to to hear my side of it if I'm dealing with this huge company. It's just not going to
right.
work. That's why you go. That's why you go to smaller companies to do your business, so that you're treated as a person. So if smaller companies are treating people like numbers and they're sticking to a particular policy, then that's not going to be good for them. I mean, these large corporations, these large companies can really handle that, but smaller companies, that's why people come to you. Now, the opposite of that, though, is being involved in a small business like you. There has to be a way to guard against, and you take it, like you said, you take it customer by customer, client by client, and you go. There has to be a certain mentality where you're not going to be taken advantage of either.
Yeah.
So that your expertise, your time, your work is not being taken advantage of. So I think there has to be. So this thing, always, treat the customer the way they want to be treated. Well, you also have to maintain a certain amount of integrity as well. I think that's why we have policies, but those policies can, there needs to be gray area with those policies for sure. So that the scope of what you're doing, the work that you're giving is not, you don't creep. It's not this creep, like I'm just going to keep giving and not being paid.
I think you hit on something. I don't know I wouldn't say I lit up, because lit up usually means a good thing, but from a like I empathized with the bad experience when you said these big companies, we lose that human touch. And I was like, everybody can empathize with that. Like I bet most of us probably spend, or most of our purchases are probably done on like Amazon without the interaction of another human, or we can order groceries that just show up at our door. And I see that as such a massive opportunity. I might not be able to innovate like those big companies. I can't fly a drone and drop off a snake at your door, but I could pick up the phone and talk to you like a human being. And it's crazy because that's the most basic of things that you could do, but it's probably like the most like far reaching courtesy that somebody would enjoy. So I see that as this massive opportunity. Like all I really have to do is just answer a phone if somebody calls, or do something. Like I like the handwritten note. You buy a snake from me. Now it's on an index card and it doesn't look that professional, but there's a handwritten Sharpie thank you from me. And I try and remember one thing from our transaction. Hope you like your new pet, or hope this fits into your breeding plan, whatever it might be. Like there are little angles that are free that you could go after. And so like I see that as like this like aha opportunity of like, hey, that like, because we all think, should I buy a more expensive microphone? I need a new camera. I need this. I got to do. Just talk. You could just talk to people. Like that's a good start. Just start there. And then I forget I was going to go to a second point of where you wrapped up at, and I lost track of it because I got excited.
Scope creep. Being a business owner and not being taken advantage of. Is that something?
Yeah. So the policy, I've always thought, and I even thought this even in my most corporate days, policies should be for your worst case scenario, not for your daily operating stuff. Like policies should be when things come to a logjam and there's just no other way to resolve it. Then you then you got to fall back on the policy. Otherwise, I don't know, see what people are going through. Tell them what you're going through. Like make it clear. I had an issue and it didn't work out well. I hate to say it didn't end well, but we did talk to each other like humans. Somebody had a snake on a payment plan. I didn't hear from them for literally 4 months. No payments, no communication, dropped off the face of the earth. Popped up one day. Hey, I'm going to make a payment. And I had to pick up the phone and say, I got to tell you, and you use the exact right expression, getting taken advantage of. I said, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I'm getting taken advantage of. I've cared for this animal for 4 months. I didn't hear from you. I'm running a business here. I had to assume that you were gone. I said, it turns out that I still have this animal. I don't want to keep your money just out of spite, but you have to settle up and you have to get current, which is paid in full.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give you 2 weeks. Other than that, our deal's off. And
Okay.
I don't think that I wouldn't say they were hugely appreciative of it, but I felt good explaining the scenario that I was in and the costs I had put in. And I did give them an opportunity, and I put, because they're taking advantage of an interest-free loan from me. It's almost like, hey, if it's this important, you can scrounge up that money. Ask your friends for an interest-free loan. Ask somebody else to front the money,
Yeah.
And it didn't come through, but at least I was honest and upfront and explained where I was at versus, there's the policy, get lost. I've had enough of you,
Yeah. It's funny. You have to treat every customer as their particular person, right? Like I even take your example of the oil place, like. Or what kind of company are you going to be? Are you going to be a company that kowtows to people who are go in and they yell at people and they go, I gotta get through this, and your other customers don't matter over me because I need to get. I mean, I think I see that a lot in smaller companies. Is like I need to deal with this person because they are the loudest. They're causing me the most trouble. So I got to get the trouble out of my life so I can deal with other clients. But that's why I think like things like understanding your customer and having some core values of this is how I'm going to treat people.
Right.
These are the principles of how we deal with people, and not just policies, but like principles. This is, and principles are guiding. They're guidance. They're not like black and white policies, they're principles. So developing some principles, I think, of how you deal with your client, I think is a really helpful thing for companies to do.
Do you think maybe the guy, like, let me just play this through, because I've absolutely been like the mid-level manager that just eats that word all day from people, especially in the restaurants. You guys can imagine. Like, do you think there was an equation, then a formula the guy went through in his head where he was like, there's no way that this woman's going to be satisfied. I'm going to be stuck with a complaint and a bad review. I'm going to wing it with this dude. And I would rather recover this dude than deal with the possible repercussions of this crazy woman who's already filming this other dude.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what happened.
It's a really insane thing, right?
And that sucks. And that's terrible because we're giving privilege to people who are acting in ways that you shouldn't act.
I just wanted to like slash your tires, be like, whoops, stuck a knife in your tire there, lady.
And not only that, we're encouraging her to be that way again and again and again and again.
Yeah, we told her to do that again. Yeah.
Because I'm acting this way, I'm going to get what I want.
Right.
And there's got to be points. It's almost like a societal care that business owners need to take and go, I don't want my society to be this.
Right. Yeah. I'm controlling the universe right here of good and bad.
I don't want to privilege this woman's behavior. But at the same time, you're just trying to survive in your job,
Yeah.
You're trying to survive in your job, and you just go, just leave, just get out of here.
Yeah.
Which I can completely understand.
Yeah. And I don't know. I do. One of my like personal social commitments, particularly with restaurants, I know that this show goes contrary to what I'm about to say. I just don't complain. I just roll with it. And I just think to myself, I don't live that way anymore. I don't have to deal with this stuff. Other people have been there. we only have like 5 minutes. Have I ever told you the story of like when like the most clear moment in my mind when I was done with restaurants? It had to do with it's a little bit unpleasant and distasteful, off color, shall we say?
Okay.
All right, so I'll wrap up the show with this, but this is the reason I remember this. And anytime that there's like a manager that has to handle crap or that's busy just eating it from a customer, I think of this moment and I just go, you know what? No problem. Good luck. I'm not going to make your day or ruin your day. I'll just go on.
Mm-hmm.
So this was during COVID, which was a crazy time for everybody. And our resort was in this rural North Carolina space, and everybody wanted to get out of the cities. And what the key point here is every state had different laws for COVID. Remember, like certain things were allowed in Florida, certain things weren't allowed in North Carolina. And we were striving to stay open. It was damn sure easier just to close and take they called it the PPP money, the payment protection plan. That's what it was. And we didn't. We said we were going to stay open. We're going to operate in the ways. And so the health inspector's on my butt. And every day they've got these new policies that are unproven, untested. So the thing that they made me do was like, for every square footage of operating space, you can have X number of people, and they have to, parties of no more than 4 have to be no more than 6 feet in distance to each other. Yeah. So I'm doing the quadratic equation of a floor plan, figuring out how I'm going to seat people. And I didn't have the heart to put a host at the host stand, because every person that came in is losing it. They're going, that table's empty. There's space there. And I didn't have the heart to stick a, whatever their going rate was in those days, $10 an hour host in front of these, animals. And everybody was on edge. Everybody was stressed. People believed in COVID. People thought it was a hoax. People thought the governor was crazy. Oh, where we come from, this is allowed. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to handle it. So I stand up front. And like what I would do, like it became a game in my mind of how far I could push these complaints out. So like somebody would start ripping into me and I would just be like, the nachos are fantastic. You're going to love it when you sit down. They're going to be great. We have this fresh, like I would just go into like a sales pitch of just like, not even like no selling what they're complaining about, just to mentally get through. And this one lady loses it on me. You're not even listening. You can, and so at that point, and I'd already been down the road of going, hey, listen, lady, this is the governor's responsibility. I'm trying not to go to jail. I'm trying to keep my staff employed, and we're all trying to make it through this life. This is what's going to happen. I have given that speech 99 times that day, and I was done with it. And this lady is ripping into me. And I had this vision of her, like, the best way I could demonstrate that she's so important and she's so entitled to all my time and all this chaos was if I stood there, and excuse the off-color expression, audience, and this is happening in my mind, not in reality. I envisioned myself standing there and urinating myself, just wetting myself in front of her with a slowly expanding wet spot on my pants that I don't even mention.
Why?
Because I'm envisioning doing this and then like having a blast, envisioning her seeing the slowly expanding wet, warm spot, and perhaps a little, maybe I was dehydrated. Maybe there's a little smell. And in my mind, her going, what are you doing? You just pissed yourself. And me going, you are so important that I gave up the modern amenity of stepping into the men's room to relieve myself. That's how important you are today. And that was like this dark fantasy in my mind. And I started laughing out. I just laughed at her face when that hit. And I went home and I was like, the bright spot of my day. I was like, this can't be what makes me happy to get through the day. And that's when I knew I was done. And so because of that experience, anytime that there's a manager that's just eating it, or I can see that they're clearly understaffed, or somebody didn't show
Right.
up,
Yeah.
or didn't take their training seriously, I just go, I'm good. I'm good, buddy. I'm gonna get out of here. I can't cure your world, but I'm not gonna add to the problem, because I don't ever want another manager to fantasize about pissing themselves as a high point in their day.
Yeah, I would say that's that. You get out of the business, I guess.
That was it, man. I remember her to this day, and I remember just she lost it when what are you laughing at me? You think this is a funny situation? And I was like, you have no idea, lady. And I just walked off. I was just like, I'm sorry. That's it.
Did she get what she wanted that day?
I have no idea. I never went back to her. I didn't quit right then, but I didn't deal with her anymore. I mean, in that
Right.
little moment, I quit her. I have no idea. Somebody probably handled something. I don't.
Okay.
I really don't recollect. I recollect the moment. I remember what I was wearing. I was dressed in a suit with a bow tie. Like, it would have just magnified the experience, you know. Like, oh man, I really. And I got close to doing it. I was like, should I just do that? Like, this would be great to explain to my GM that that's how horrible these people are, that I couldn't even get away. And I was like, don't do, just get away, Adam. Just get away.
That's a great story to end on. Let's leave that in our minds for a week.
Yeah. Well, so if you ever wonder, like, man, Adam seems happy a lot, it's because that was like my parting, like, goodbye, you know?
Yeah, right.
And I don't do that anymore.
But you don't, I know we need to wrap up.
We're good.
You don't complain. So what if something is so egregious that you, like even this, like you found a way to say that something was wrong to the oil people.
Yeah,
but it wasn't really a complaint.
I still let it go. Like, I'm not going to change the world. What was my one review? Is my one rant? Like, am I really the guy? Ultimately, I don't know. Maybe they'll stay in business. Maybe they won't. They probably will. Yeah. I don't know. But I'm not going to go back. And I'm pretty stubborn about that. This happened this week too. There was another story of a local restaurant that couldn't get tacos right, of all things. Tacos, 3 ingredients. Just make my son a lettuce, cheese, and tomato taco. That's it. I don't care. Charge me whatever you got to charge me. They can't get it right. So I quit them.
What couldn't they get right? They put extra stuff on there?
First they told me that's not how they come. I'm like, dude, you have a soft shell tortilla, you have ground beef, you have lettuce, tomato, and cheese. That's all I want. I want that 3 times. Charge me whatever it costs. And so then they upcharged me, and they still put onions and cilantro on it. And Joe, this has been going on for 2 years. Since I moved to Minnesota, this has been going on. And I finally was like, I'm out of this place. But no,
playing with your feet. Yeah.
You know, right. I vote with my little green ballot. So anyway, but it's a little bit of my own piece too. Like now, because I used to just get so riled up over stuff. And now I'm just like, I'll go on. I won't be back, but I'm going to go on.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Right,
you know? Right. So anyhow, what do you got coming up this week?
We bought a shed, so I gotta make a place for the shed. I gotta work on that. I'm going out to dinner on Saturday night with some new folks that I've never, hung out with before. So that's always fun.
Yeah. I expect to hear good stories of the former strangers, the new friends, man. That's always a good leap of faith.
We'll see what happens.
Right.
See what happens. Yeah. Especially as you get older. Right.
Yeah.
How about you? What are you up to this week?
I moved the rodents into the new facility on Tuesday. So I'm figuring out
That's awesome.
We're live. The car wash is now a rodent facility. So I'm figuring out all the systems and processes and logistics, and honestly, just being thankful. Yesterday I was cleaning rodent poo, and I just looked around and I just smiled, man. It's a nice place. So I mean it. I know it sounds crazy, but never once yesterday did I take joy in envisioning soiling myself in front of another human being, and it's an amazing day. So yeah, so I'm working some of that out. I get to actually, I know we're wrapping up, but this is kind of exciting. There's it's an agricultural area, so there's like a feed mill, a grain mill, like 200 yards from me. So I actually want to go in there and do like actual business and be like, hey, I need, X number of pounds per month of this mix. What can you guys do? Can you source pine bedding? Can you source aspen bedding for me? I really I get to start doing business in the community, which is going to be pretty cool too. So that's a big part of what I've looked forward to. And
very nice.
So I get to start that phase this week. And audience, on Tuesday night, I got Will Morose from RCR on Proper Royals Live. Thank you, everybody. We went to overtime, but hey, it's ad-free. Thanks to Elias for paying the ad bills, keeping the lights on today. We got the purple light. Thanks, brought to you by Elias. And yeah, I think that I'll tell the story of the feed mill next week. How about that's what we get into? There's a little bit of a funny story there. We'll see what's up. And I get to walk in. I can't wait for them to be like, so what do you farm? And be like, rats, snakes, pal. That's what I do. Right here. We're going to have a good time on that one. We got to get out of here. I run my yapper too much. We all got to get to work. We got to run. I will see you guys soon. Same place, same time. Joe, have a great week. Welcome back. Glad to have you, man.
You too. Thanks. Take care, everybody.
See ya.